So that whole E3, not E3 kind of event thing happened. You know what I'm talking about with the Summer Jeff Fest and the PlayStation show thing, and there was like an Xbox showcase. Nintendo's just kind of doing whatever it's doing. A bunch of games got shown off. There were a ton of world premieres. It's the summer of like games announcements, right? And I was watching a few of the announcements. I was watching the Jeff show, and I was watching a little bit of the Xbox show. And after maybe 10 or so announcements that just really didn't do anything for me, I just kind of got bored of everything, man. I just kind of turned off the show at one point and just went back to playing like Twilight Princess or whatever it was I was playing. And don't get it twisted, there were some really cool announcements made during these shows. Shout out Marvel Tokon, shout out Invincible Versus, Mina the Hollower, fucking Big Walk, dude. Now you might think that this video is gonna turn into one of those like, oh, gaming isn't fun anymore type beats, and no, it's not. Because gaming truly is better than it ever has been. There's so many good games, there's so many cool new developers, there's so many new concepts being published. The only difference between then and now is that most of the really cool, really interesting ideas are unfortunately being hidden by the fact that they're indie releases. Now, something I will say has gotten worse since, the before times in 1997 or whenever the fuck people are talking about when games were better, is just that, like, games media is more mainstream, there's more money in it, so that means that these big companies who are pouring millions upon billions of dollars into their games, they have to appeal to the most amount of people they possibly can, because that way they can probably get some return on their investment. Oh, and don't forget to throw in a few loot boxes and battle passes and microtransactions and all of that goodness, just because let's make a little bit extra money on top. You know, the CEO needs to afford his 17th yacht this season. And then on top of everything else, a lot of these publishers are deciding that, let's just start charging $80 fucking for our games. Shout out Nintendo, shout out Outer Worlds. So in case it wasn't entirely obvious, I don't think that AAA gaming is really worth the time or the money or the investment or I don't think it's worth it anymore. And so I want to be the change I want to see in the world, and we're here to talk about a few indie games that I think are more worth your money because, hey, all of the games we're going to be talking about today only cost $10 or less. And that, ladies and gentlemen, and prefer not to says, is what we call broke-ass gaming. And before we actually start talking about the games, I want to set a few ground rules for this series and all these videos going forward. If you don't really care and you just want to see the games, feel free to click this timestamp. I'm not your dad, you can skip it all if you want. And in the description down below, there will be links to all of the games I talk about. All right, so rule number 1, the game has to be purchasable in some way, shape, or form. And when I say purchasable, I mean you pay money to acquire the game and put that on your account. I know that there's a really blurry line between ownership and renting, and that stuff is kind of being worked out right now. But the point of this rule is I want to avoid using stuff like Game Pass. I personally do not feel that Xbox Game Pass or any of these game subscription services, PlayStation Now, whatever Ubisoft is doing, EA tried to do it for like a month and a half. I don't think any of these are worth your money. Because to me, a series like this, when we're talking about broke-ass gaming, and I'm talking about games that are accessible, affordable, and you're supporting smaller developers, it would feel like cheating if I just said, oh yeah, I just got it on Game Pass and played it for a month and canceled my subscription. Look, if you think Game Pass or any of this stuff is worth your money, go off, king or queen, or prefer not to say. It's no skin off my nose if you think differently to me. So yeah, it has to be purchasable either on Steam or itch.io or GOG or somewhere where you can download the files of the game. And on that note, rule number 2, each game must fall within the stated budget. Now, I said already that all of these games are going to be $10 or less, but maybe in the future I could do videos where we're talking about games that are $15 or less, or maybe even $5 or less. So each discussion will carry its own budget, just to have a little bit more variety between videos, right? Because I feel like if every game is $10 or less, that would get really limiting after a while. And I'm also not one of those insane people who believes that you should get an hour of enjoyment per dollar you spend on a game. That's an insane rule. It's always been an insane rule, and I really don't think it's reflective of how much enjoyment you can get out of a game. Rule number 3, no special promotions, no sales, no discounts, no bundles, none of that stuff. Because pretty much every single deal or sale or special or whatever you want to call it, they're not going to stay. I don't want these videos to be outdated in like a week. So if I were to just come on this video and say like, oh, I got Sonic Frontiers for only $10, and then you come and watch the video like, I don't know, a week, 2 weeks, a month later, and you go and check the Steam page that I have linked, and the sale's not going on anymore, that would feel bad. Like, that would not be a good thing to happen. So yeah, sales and all the things that go into it, that's a different discussion for a different time. And you know what? I'll throw in a bonus rule for this video in particular. Every single game that we talk about today will be fully playable on my 15-year-old Lenovo ThinkPad. And this thing is not powerful at all. So not only are all the games we're talking about accessible in terms of price, they're also accessible in terms of hardware requirements. Because I know a lot of us are struggling right now, and I know that buying high-end computer hardware, even though every fucking company under the face of the sun is screaming at you to buy the new graphics card, buy the new processor, buy, it's not something we're gonna be able to do. And you have all these games come out and they're all like, oh, we're using the new tech in Unreal Engine 5. Dude, I was looking at Atomic Heart 2, and I'm looking at this game and they're saying it's in Unreal Engine 5. And the only thing I could think while I was watching this trailer was like, wow, my 3080 will probably barely run this thing. And that sucks. I don't want to have to spend $700, $800 on a new graphics card that I don't need. All right, enough doom posting about the enshittification of everything around us. Let's actually start talking about the fun stuff. Let's actually talk about the games we're here to talk about. Early game Nubby. End game Nubby. Nubbies Number Factory. Did you ever want the satisfaction of the game Peggle alongside the ADHD brain happy chemicals that come along with Cookie Clicker? Play Peggle, make number go up. That is essentially what Nubbies Number Factory is. It's not a very demanding game, like you're not really thinking a whole lot while you're sending Nubby down into those pegs. But the main thing that gets your brain turning is the items. Because what's every indie developer's favorite genre? That's right, the roguelike. Now, I know a lot of people out there are jaded at roguelikes in general, and to be honest, I kind of feel a little bit of that sentiment. There are certainly a lot of roguelikes out there, and there are certainly a good number of developers who use this genre's inherent replayability as kind of a crutch for not really making a solid enough game loop. But every now and then, a game will come by that, despite everything, will still be an absolute banger. And that's what Nubby is. Developed and published by a single man known on the internet as Mogdogblog, with a soundtrack provided by Malachi Martin, aka Vinegart, link to that in the description as well. You play as a number cruncher at the Nubby Number Look, okay, listen. I was gonna go on a whole spiel and talk about the plot and the setup of this game, and let's be real, there isn't any. You are not here to understand and philosophize on the implications of why Nubby looks like that, or what the horse pill tastes like, or any of the other bullshit you can talk about in terms of games lore. You are here to click the button and make number go up and it make your brain do the fun chemical. I mean, honestly, you can kind of look at this game as a little bit of a deconstruction of the roguelike genre. Every time I play this game, every time I mention this game, I always think about that evergreen post of this group of people sitting on the right side of the screen, and they're all just doing these incoherent tasks at each other, and you got the guy on the left side of the screen commentating over it, and this post is exactly what Nubby is. Oh, dude, yeah, I got the cactus, and I got the tax, and then I put the squid next to the goop guy, and then you got the butterfly going up, and then you got Poop Butt. Bro, Poop Butt is really carrying this early game right now. Just, if you've never played the game, it is incoherent, and this is the kind of experience I live for. I think this shit is hysterical. And then you got the cafe later, and there's a bunch of permanent effects. There's the black market. There's other things you can like, building out a run in Nubby is easy on the surface, right? And it requires a good amount of luck. But once everything lands in the right spot, once the stars align, which happens more often than you'd think, you can get some absolutely fucking insane runs. Nubby's Number Factory becomes a game that you can play for 10 minutes and have a good time, or you can play for 100 hours and be absolutely enamored with. And that's another thing I like about this game, is that it doesn't overstay its welcome. So many games out there are coming out and they're like, oh, we have 100 hours worth of content, and maybe only 10 or 20 hours of that content is actually fun or interesting or engaging. But Nubby is simple. You know, you look at this game, you know exactly what you're getting into, and if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. That's cool. But you know what is overstaying its welcome? This section in the video. So why don't we just go ahead and move on to the next game? Did you know that you can skip ads by pressing the L key on your keyboard? This part of the video has been sponsored by Private Internet Access. Hey, it's me, iconic character Donnie, here to tell you about VPNs, or virtual private networks. Using the internet is similar to sending out a postcard. Anyone at any time can read the message that you wrote on that postcard. But if you've got something like a VPN, that's like putting that postcard inside of an envelope, safely encrypting your internet browsing so that no one knows what you're doing, where you're going, or who you're talking to, unless you leave evidence, but we don't leave evidence in this house. Hey, did you know that PIA is one of the only VPNs to have proven in court that they don't log any of their traffic and any of their data? Pretty nice stuff, huh? Pretty secure. You can also use PIA to gain access to geo-locked content. Because of the dystopian hellscape we currently live in, any company can just take away access to content that you might have had before. So let's say you wanted to watch a show on Netflix, but sorry, that show's only available in France now. All you gotta do is enable PIA, and presto bingo bongo, you're watching whatever you want, whenever you want. And did I mention that one account can support and protect an unlimited number of devices? Phones, laptops, Windows, Linux, whatever you need, PIA's got you covered. By using the special code available in the description and the pinned comment, you can get an 83% discount on your subscription. That's just $2.03 a month. And you also get 4 months completely for free. What a deal! Thanks again to Private Internet Access for sponsoring this section of the video. Welcome back to your regularly scheduled autism.
Get the fuck away from me!
No.
Oh my god. No, I'm dead. I'm dead. Yep, that's it. That's game over for Seth. Yep. The moment I fall into one of those, it's game over. Holy
That was
fuck.
so fucking funny. Okay, so Rounds is a very, very interesting game. This game was recommended to me by friend of the channel, ODI Seth. And if you're interested in watching some unedited gameplay, well, looky here. There's a cool video that you can watch on the garbage pile. All right, enough shilling. Rounds is a 1v1 roguelite shooter. Listen, I know I just had that whole spiel about how exhausting roguelites can be, but this whole video is roguelikes, so kind of shooting myself in the foot with that one, huh? But this one is interesting, I promise. And the reason being is because it is a 1v1 versus game. The way it works is that every round starts with you and your opponent having nothing, except a gun and a shield that you can activate to kind of be like a parry. And then the player that dies gets to pick one of 5 different randomly selected cards. And these cards can wildly change your gameplay. Some of them are like, oh, you get more health, or you can jump higher or something. But some of these are pretty fucking evil, where whenever your bullets land, they leave a cloud of poison, and then you stack on top of that the bouncing bullets effect. So every time your bullets bounce, it leaves behind a big ass fucking fart cloud of stank ass poison. And that means your opponent, in this case me, has to just fucking deal with that. This game can get really evil really fast, and that is exactly the kind of energy this game needs. Games are quick, the controls are nice and snappy, everything feels good. It is this perfect stew of just party game. Like if you were to sit down with a group of people and you were to have like best of 3 rounds and you kept like passing the controller back and forth, I think that would be a really, really good time. But that is the unfortunate downside of this game. You need friends to play it. Which I know is not everyone's cup of tea, but if you're looking for something new to play that isn't the latest fucking slopcore first-person shooter that's filled with battle passes and microtransactions, and just wants a good time spending time with your friends, hey, Rounds might be that game for you. And Rounds is brought to you by the studio Landfall Games, which I think, I'm gonna make a little bit of a prediction here, I think they're gonna be appearing a bunch in this series. Because the games that they release are fun, interesting, and most importantly, cheap. Some of you might be thinking that Rounds might look a little bit similar to a different game called Stick Fight the Game. And gotcha, motherfucker, this game was also developed by Landfall. So if you like Stick Fight, there's a pretty good chance that you'll like Rounds. And this section is a little bit shorter because, well, there really isn't a whole lot to talk about with this game. It's just fun. Moral of the story, play Rounds, join my memberships, give me money, and have a good time. That was fucking stupid. And the final game we're going to be talking about today is Tiny Rogues, which, hey, it's another roguelike. I promise you that this was entirely coincidental. I just happen to really like every single one of these games. So what's so special about Tiny Rogues? I mean, just looking at gameplay footage, it kind of looks like an amalgamation of several different kinds of games all wrapped up into one package. And yeah, I mean, it basically is. But that's not a bad thing. Basic gist of the gameplay is that you are a rogue exploring a dungeon at the behest of the sacred bonfire, and it wants you to gather souls to put into the bonfire, and then there's like companions and summoning you can do, there's range, melee, and magic builds, there's enemies from Terraria just put in here. I look at a game like this and I see passion. I see passion for the medium of video games, and I see a person who really wanted to get their feet wet and just make something. So what they did was they just took aspects they like from all different kinds of games and just put them in their game. You've got stats, you've got builds, you've got all different kinds of equipment, you've got mana, dodge rolling, Estus flasks, red hearts and soul hearts, revives, special abilities, all different kinds of characters, this gigantic fucking perk tree that you can unlock over the course of your game. Let me put it this way. If you played Binding of Isaac and you thought to yourself, what if this game had a Dark Souls stat screen? Very specific combination of things, but that's basically what Tiny Rogues is. Oh, and also it's a Toho kind of style bullet hell game where every boss fight and every different room encounter is a different form of just so much different shit being thrown at you, and there's different modifiers you can apply, and I could go on and on and on and on about all the different types of permutations and things you can run into in this game. But why would I do that when you can just go get the game and play it yourself? Cause remember, this game's only $10, dude. This game just kind of warms my heart in a very specific kind of way. Because like I said, this just screams as someone who enjoys making things, and I want to support that. Not to say that every other developer isn't doing things right, I just wanted to showcase this game specifically because I had so much fun playing it, I had so much fun discovering things and figuring out new builds and understanding how the different stats work together and looking at all the different weapons and all the enchantments and all the different things. And dude, I haven't even began to talk about it, but the soundtrack of this fucking game is incredible. I'm a big fan of chiptune music, and this is some of the best chiptune I've heard in quite a while. So there will be a link to the Bandcamp page for this game soundtrack in the description as well. Like I said in the Nubby section of this video, there are so many games that have hundreds of hours of content that you barely want to interface with. Wide as an ocean, deep as a puddle, that kind of meme. Well, this game is about as wide as your average neighborhood swimming pool, but you could easily find the remains of the Ocean Gate submersible at the bottom of this fucking thing. It goes so deep. I don't know how to describe it, man. Just sometimes a certain game will come along and it'll just really hit me in the specific way that I need to at that moment. And goddamn it, Tiny Rogues was that. I played it on my Steam Deck quite a bit, and I unlocked a bunch of characters, and I got to a bunch of different stuff. I haven't fully beaten a run quote unquote, yet. But you don't need to be a master of something to just simply appreciate what it's trying to do. And to be honest, I kind of got burnt out about 100%ing roguelikes with Binding of Isaac, because like, fuck, dude. To put it simply, this is just the vibe I like seeing in video games. Oh, and by the way, if you actually play any of the games that I recommend in this video, I implore you to leave a review on Steam. Steam really likes it when you leave a review, and it helps out the developers more than you would expect. It's like joining memberships or subscribing or leaving a like here on YouTube. It really does help, so please go do that. All right, you made it to the end of the video. Good for you, good job. You actually get something special. Don't pay attention to how much time is left in the video. I wanna start doing this thing where I wanna start giving music recommendations as well in every video, not just the videos where I'm like recommending shit. I mean, obviously in this video, I already talked about these soundtracks for Nubbies Number Factory and Tiny Rogues, and those will obviously be in the description below. But earlier in this video, I had some music playing from an artist called Mesmonium. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm just gonna say Mesmonium. They released an album that was covers for the songs from the Knuckles levels in Sonic Adventure 2 without any lyrics. What was funny is I was looking for instrumental mixes of these songs just to see if anybody had like released them somewhere or anything, and in doing so I happened to stumble upon their Bandcamp, and this release is pretty old. Like it's probably like a decade old at this point, but the music itself was so good that I can't not talk about it in this video. So yeah, if you want some really good covers of Knuckles songs from Sonic Adventure 2 without any lyrics in them, maybe you want to do covers of your own and do the lyrics yourself, or maybe you want to use them as background noise in a video that you're doing, hey, the fucking link to the Bandcamp is there. And then here's a couple of recommendations that aren't strictly video game music. The first artist we have to talk about today is Disman. Listen, bro. Some of these names are a little bit hard to pronounce. Forgive me. I'm just gonna say Disman for the rest of this. So, funny story, friend of the channel, Abby, had sent me a link to this particular album, Death Is Not Enough. And so we're just up on Discord, and I'm sitting in my room messaging her while listening to this album, and we're just absolutely fucking geeking out. Every other track, we're just kind of being like, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck. And we're absolutely fucking losing our minds, right? It's got kind of like, I don't even know how to describe this album, dude. It's like a mixture of EDM, dubstep, fucking flamenco, the vibe of Doom 2016. Like, if I had to try my best to describe this album in 2 words, it would be flamenco Doom. And dude, even the artist is in on it. Like, in the comment section, they were just like, yo, this genre is called I Made It the Fuck Up. And I am so down with that. Like, I don't even know what the fuck I'm listening to, but I'm vibing with it super hard. And I left a comment on that video myself, and the dude seems really fucking chill. And he also watches this channel. So with this, I'm gonna take this opportunity to say, brother, man, get yourself a Bandcamp, please. I would like to purchase FLACs of all of your songs and have them in my FLAC library and be able to point people toward that library as well. At least at time of recording, the only thing I could find other than their YouTube page was a Spotify link, and also lore. There's like lore to their music, and that just adds a whole nother layer of stuff. Like the amount of stuff that this person is creating is just insane to me. So yeah, if you fuck with anything that I've been talking about in this video, I implore you to go check out the link to the Death Is Not Enough album in the description. It is very fucking good. I was losing my goddamn mind about it. And the artist seems chill, so hey, win-win-win, right? And the last artist I'm gonna recommend is one Deathbrain. And their music has kind of a high-tempo vibe similar to Disman, but not as intense. It's breakcore, but it's more like an ethereal, kind of relaxing, almost melancholic kind of vibe to it. It's another artist that is like really hard to describe like what their music actually is unless you fucking listen to it yourself. And I recently got a CD of one of their albums, Fantasy Noises and Perfect Illusions, which is the album I'm recommending today. And I've been listening to that in my car for like a week or 2, maybe 3 now, and it's such a good vibe to drive with, honestly. So yeah, I guess there's just gonna be an entire block of Bandcamp links in the description, but hey, that's just kind of what we're here to talk about, right? I want to share the things that I like, and if you have any recommendations of music or games or whatever, yeah, just go ahead and leave a comment. I'm always looking to get into new things. I'm always trying to find that new thing that'll inspire me, right? And you're never gonna know what you like until you actually see it. So like, fuck yeah, dude, like go ham with the recommendations. Thanks again to everybody who's watching this video. Thank you to members who support me financially. Just thank you to everybody. I know that my video output has slowed down quite a bit recently, and that is due to mostly just me wrestling with mental health stuff, because, hey, would you believe it? I'm struggling right now. Then again, who isn't struggling right now? Like, it's just kind of the vibe of reality at this point in time. Decision paralysis is very real, and it is something that I hope to overcome hopefully soon. I don't fucking know at this point, bro. I really do appreciate it, even if it doesn't seem like it. So thank you again, and have a good one.